nei wairea te papa e takoto nei wairea te Taumata Kōrero ngā mātua tūpuna kua mene ki te pō tihei Maori ora. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, welcome back to the podcast, the Taumata Kōrero, the quintessential space to drop some maturanga Māori bombs. We're about to drop more bombs in the studio today, our multi-million-dollar facility today. We have quite an interesting guest who has arrived to the Taumata Kōrero studios today. E te hoa, I'll let you introduce yourself.
My name is Lily Taurau. I used to work at Mai FM. I've literally just finished a couple of days ago because I'm off to London. But yeah, I'm Lily. I'm from Auckland. My family is from the north, Ngāpuhi, and I have been on the Te Reo Māori journey for the last few years.
Fire up.
Yeah, though I'm still a beginner, sadly.
Yeah, well, that makes two of us. I want to talk to you. We're going to get into the Te Reo Māori side of things, the identity, the Māori side of things, but I want to talk to you about, while it's current, while it's hot, Mai FM. That was, I mean, anyone who has a radio, who has 88.6 knows your voice. How was that like? What was that journey like?
It was amazing. I kind of got into radio accidentally, you know, like I just finished a business degree at AUT and I was doing an internship at like an advertising agency, and that's what I thought I wanted to do, just go into advertising. And I was in traffic on my way to work with the internship, and I heard Nixon and Nate talking about how they're doing like a talent search sort of thing to replace Kanua, who had just left. And I was like, oh, I'm just going to do it. I was really hating the internship at that point as well. And I was like kind of having a minor freak out. I was like, I just did a 3-year degree and I don't even know if this is what I want to do. Anyway, I applied for the talent search that they had. I had to make like a little video, write a little bit about me. And then I got a call and they were like, you're on the finalists, come on in for an audition.
Wow.
And then I had to do all these like dumb challenges on air, embarrass myself. And yeah, the rest is history. That was for a 3-month contract, and then they just asked me to stay, and it was been 4.5 years.
Oh, true. So it wasn't even full time right from the start.
It was kind of like, it was full time, but it was just 3 months, and it was like, I think it was to buy themselves more time to find a proper radio person to come and take their role. And and then 3 months came up, and they were like, "Do you want to sign on for permanent?" And I was like, "Okay, I think so."
So that was DJ Severe, the former head of Mai FM.
Yes.
Kind of hit you up after 90 days and was like, we like you, we like your look, we like your sound.
Yeah.
What was that like?
I was actually at a point where I was like, is this a good idea? I had kind of in my head been like, I think I'm going to go travel after uni. And because the internship, you know, while I was doing that internship, I was like, I don't think that I want to get into this, straight into this after uni. So I might like go to the States. And that was my plan. And then they came along with this 3-month contract and the full-time contract after the 3 months. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to do it. You know, like, you know when something comes up and you're like, this is an opportunity and you'd be dumb not to take it, even though it's really scary and you just have to do it. I just had to do it.
I get the feeling sometimes, and it's just, I think it's us as humans, we're a bit reluctant to like jump, to actually just take the plunge, like.
Yeah. And I mean, it was really scary. And I was finding it really difficult at that point, you know, like I have no radio training, like formal training at all. So being put into breakfast radio with Nixon and Nate, who have already this, you know, this dynamic that is, you can't just jump in and like fit in. You know, it took a long time. And so it was difficult at the beginning, and also Kano was amazing and I was coming in after her, and so it was hard, but then I was also enjoying it, and I could see, you know, if I kept at it, how much fun I could have and how much more I could learn, and I'm glad I did it. But yeah, it was hard to, just like you said, like jump and take the plunge.
Yeah, she's actually she's like Golze Kanua Lloyd she is a strong Māori woman.
I know.
I will bow down to her.
I know. She's amazing. I follow her on all like social media, and I'm just always having a cheeky stalk what she's up to.
Let's talk to me through. Let's see where we can go with this kōrero. Like, I mean, she's obviously gone on a bit of a real Māori journey herself, Kanua. And like you were saying that, you know, this is something that you've been chasing and kind of getting involved in.
Yeah.
Talk me through that.
I started learning Māori back in high school, but I didn't take it seriously. It was just a subject. But when maybe a few years ago, I started at the Unitec kurapo classes, and they were they're kind of relaxed. They're not really like, there's not like a curriculum going on there or anything, but they were great. And that was like sort of introduction to the journey. And then I followed on with Te Wānanga Aotearoa night classes as well. And I mean, it's amazing. And it's amazing having people like Kanoa Lloyd, there's Cara Ricard, there's Stacey Morrison, there's Kaylee McNabb, women who are like absolutely killing it in broadcasting and on TV and are owning their Māoriness, you know? Yeah. So they have been absolute role models for me. But they're, you know, like, I'm always like, I just don't have the confidence to like go as hard as they do. I don't know, like I can't speak Māori at all. Yeah. I'm trying to, I'm beginning. And I'm kind of like, that's where I want to be eventually. It's
a sad state of affairs, like when we've got, like I see you as a leader, like a Māori female leader. Let's just say that. It's a really sad state of affairs when we've created an environment where our Māori female leaders don't feel confident enough to put themselves forward and say, hey, I'm brown, I am a Māori woman, I am strong, I'm outspoken, and I'm going to spread my people's message.
Yeah. My thing is that I'm really worried that I'm going to get it wrong. Yeah. So like, you know, when I was on radio and every morning, you know, I have this amazing platform to you know, drop a few Māori words here and there, normalize it. And I would when I could, but that was really out of my comfort zone because I didn't want to get it wrong. Mm. And I remember when I first started, 4 or so years ago, and I don't know what it was that I got wrong, but I got a really mean text through of someone being like, you said that wrong. It was either the pronunciation or I had the wrong word or whatever.
True.
And it was just like, that was just a real, oh no, I got it wrong. I just spread the wrong message to all these people who are listening. Someone's hit me up and I've been like, and ever since I've been like, don't do that again. Like, don't get it wrong. And for someone who is learning, I never know if what I'm saying is right. So, so that's been like a real barrier for me. And just learning in general, it's difficult to, you know, everyone is whakama when you're starting to learn.
Straight up.
It's scary, and you don't want to embarrass yourself. Yeah. And then doing that on a platform, you know, there are lots of people listening. That was just an extra scary.
Was it like, so that all it took was a text message?
Yeah, and that was when I just started as well. So it kind of, you know, I took that kind of stuff to heart. But I have to say that was like one person. I now like try when I can to put things on my Insta story, like if I can kind of piece together a little Māori sentence. Yeah. And then people, the support that you get from people is really lovely. Yeah. Barely ever have anyone say nasty things via social media. Text message on radio is different because I feel like they can do it anonymously. So, you know how trolls are. So, but you know, no one's ever said anything awful to me via my Instagram, and it's mostly people like you who are like, hey, you got that little bit wrong, and then I learn, and that's exactly what I want as a beginner, you know, like someone who knows more helping me. Yeah. Rather than someone being like, don't even try, you don't know what you're doing.
It does my head in how we, you know, we're telling people, you need to go and learn, but when people go and learn, like, we're so quick to like, we have this thing in New Zealand, like a crab in a bucket, eh? Like when someone's trying to get out of the bucket.
You're like, get back down.
Come down.
How dare you think that you can get out of there?
It's it just really wrecks my brain.
And I don't think that there's a lot of people. I think that there are a few people that do that. But like when they bring people down, it's really damaging. And that person will take that on board for the rest of their journey. And it just makes them more shy and more scared and, you know, stops them from, you know, verbalizing. Yeah. So, I feel like it's just a few people that make us sad.
So where's your, like, let's talk, because as we both know, our language, our Māori language represents our culture. Mm-hmm. Our culture is essentially our identity, who we are, where we're from. Where are you from? You said you're from up north.
Well, yeah, that's where my family are from. That's where my marae is, and, you know, that's where I'm from, but I've born and raised in Auckland. Yeah. But my Māori bloodline comes from my father's side, but he doesn't know anything. Yeah. He's not bothered by it, he doesn't want to know anything. Yeah. That's fine. My grandfather knows a bit, very encouraging and helps me with what he can, but also not a fluent speaker. I think he can understand a bit, but that's about it that comes in my family.
Yeah.
So I remember, you know, when I started like my to-go journey, it was difficult because, you know, you want to learn, you kind of need someone at home to help you with, is this right, is this wrong? And I've never had that.
Yeah.
So that's always been a challenge. And then it's kind of hard being like, I'm Māori, but I don't really know my marae. I've only been there a handful of times. You know, I know like my Pākehā on paper only because like that's what I pieced together, and I don't really, you know, someone can tell you this is your Pākehā, but you don't, you know, you got to feel it.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, and you know, like I don't know if I have that.
Yeah.
And I can't speak the language, so I'm like, I'm Māori, but I'm, you know, you're at that point where you're like, I'm not going to be like, hey, I'm Māori.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I'm Māori, like on paper, like technically, but I don't know the language. I don't really know my history. I don't, you know, like I don't feel like I have everything that I need to be able to like stand up and say I'm Māori.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a lot of people that feel like that. You're in this sort of weird space where you're white, you're brown.
Yeah.
I'm white as. When people are like, oh, you're brown when they hear my last name, I'm like, well, not really. Like, I'm white. Yeah. But I don't like saying that I'm white because that is really disrespectful to my entire Māori side, and I don't want, you know, and I don't feel comfortable doing that. I'm very proud to be Māori. And then I don't like saying that, no, I'm Māori, because then I don't feel like I'm a right representation of that as well, because I can't like back it up.
That kōrero like that, like actually hurts me. That we've created a system where some Māori people feel that I look at my hands, my skin is white, but I don't feel an attachment to my mountain. I don't feel an attachment but why do we as Māori persist to persecute people for not having a connection?
But you know what, like through Te Wānanga and stuff, like all the kaiako that I've had have been so supportive, and they've been, you know, and I honestly feel like most people that I have encountered have been so encouraging, and they aren't like that. Like there's no sort of, like they want me to get out there and learn about it. And I have been. I think it's a long journey. Yeah. And I think when you start from a family who, like my family is Pākehā family, really, like I haven't had like Māori values instilled in me from day one or anything like that. I'm learning them now. So like when you start from there, it's a long journey to get to that space where I can be like, and I know I shouldn't say it like that when I can say proudly, like, I'm Māori, and I can back it up because I can speak the language, and I'm a champion for everything, you know, so yeah, it's difficult. It's a difficult one, and I think there's so many people like me who are Māori, but who have not been raised Māori, and are now trying to reconnect, and it's a long journey.
I think an important discussion and an important conversation to start having is, what is being raised Māori like in 2019?
Yeah. I don't know. Well, that's the thing. I didn't know all the, you know, this tikanga that I'm learning, all that sort of thing, even just a bloody a karakia before a meal. You know, like that's just not something that I ever was, you know, raised with. So learning that, I don't know. What is, you know, being Māori in 2019 exactly? Like, what is that question? And that's like, you're never going to find the answer. Yeah. So I don't know why I spend so much time like trying to convince myself one way or another, like, you know. Yeah. But yeah,
the thing for me is like, you know, what is Māori in 2019? If I saw someone walking down Queen Street, wielding a taiaha, holding a pipi with long hair and feathers in the hair,
that's a Māori.
You're a But like, you know,
but that's not real. Yeah, that's not real life at the end of the day. Like you don't have to do that to be Māori. Yeah, for sure.
Where exactly is your links up north? Like
Hokianga.
True.
Yeah.
Your Hokianga.
Yeah.
Do you know exactly where?
I know that our marae is Pakanae.
In Pakanae.
Yeah.
Beautiful place.
Yeah.
It's beautiful up there.
Yeah.
True.
So I've only been there a handful of times for like a few tangies and like family reunions.
Yeah.
But I know that that's where, what's the other place? Is it Mangakahia?
Mangakahia, yeah.
Yeah, so that I know was where my great-great-great-grandfather is from, whakapapa. And he was painted by Goldie and Linda, and he's in the museum and art gallery.
So you're a descendant of whakapapa?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is like one of the fun, like the parts I've really enjoyed is finding out my history. I knew that ever since I was a kid, because like my family's like, But learning about him and more about that has been really cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm actually like...
Last year when I did my big assessment at the end of the year with Te Wānanga, the thing was like you had to pick a tangata rongonui, and I picked whakapapa. And I did the whole thing and everyone was very impressed because I had the coolest person and it was my family.
Yeah. That's amazing. I can hear all of everyone north of Whangarei around the Hokianga harbour clapping, shouting and waving that they've got the girl on the Taumata Kōrero today. That was awesome kōrero. Moving it along, when we're talking about what is Māori in 2019, I know one day you're going to have kids of your own. What's some of those things that you've learned?
I want my kids to speak. I want to put them straight into a kohanga reo. Totally. I would have loved to have done that as a kid. Well, I would appreciate that as an adult, having put into, Māori language speaking school right from the beginning, because it make my life so much easier now. It's so hard to learn a language as an adult.
Just straight up.
Yeah, definitely.
What school did you go to?
Western Springs High School.
Western
College.
Springs?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I did the Te Reo Māori classes from year 9 up until year 11, and in year 11 they just put you with the Urumaki class.
Yeah.
And I was only one of 2 mainstream students in there, and I was like, this is over my head.
True.
Yeah. And I don't know, thinking back, I'm like, maybe NCEA has it wrong where they, because the Urumaki kids, obviously, they're just they know it, yeah. It's fine. But for someone who's learning it, it was really difficult, and I ended up just finishing after year 11 and not taking it in year 12 and 13. So I was like, maybe NCEA needs to make it a little bit easier to be able to continue on if you're not, you don't have Māori language at home. But then I'm not sure if I was just a terrible student and wasn't focusing.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't the greatest student at high school, so. Yeah. But yeah.
That's an interesting discussion to have, how we're teaching the reo, that from what I'm getting from what you're telling me today, there's a lot to be said about how we're interacting, because it's not actually what's coming across on pen to paper and what's coming out of my mouth into your ears. It's about how we're connecting person to person, and that's giving way to whether or not you're going to follow it.
Yeah.
What's your take on that?
I don't know. I just feel like when it comes to connecting personally, I've been really lucky. My kako last year at Te Wānanga Aotearoa were just amazing and really encouraging. And I found that was key. And 1, just being motivated to turn up to class every week. And then 2, just feeling like you are welcome to come and learn the language. I've actually I haven't really come across anyone who I've felt like doesn't want me to learn the language,
Yes. Cool.
I've had a troll or 2 on the text line at but that's it. It mostly is people really encouraging. I've been really lucky to come across really supportive people who really believe in the language, who want everyone to learn it.
Yeah.
So, I
just want to take you back to one of the previous points you made about feeling inadequate. Because I was telling you about our mutual friend Brooke Rusky. I don't think you'll mind me name dropping. I better pick that name up I just dropped. My good boy Brookie, he was saying much the same thing, bro. There are a lot of times when, and we don't even know if it's actual people making other people feel inadequate, but there's society
I don't think it's someone who's specifically been you can't call yourself Māori. I don't think that's it. I think it's come from our own insecurities. It's can I call myself Māori? Because I can't speak the language and because I don't visit my marae so often. I think that's come from within us. But so it's something that I know that I need to get over, and I need to just push it aside. I will happily say, I'm Māori, because I am. But it's when I don't know, I feel like when it's, when you are in a position where you are there to represent as Māori, I don't feel comfortable then.
True.
Yeah, so with Mai, Mai is a Māori radio station, Ngāti Whātua own the frequency in Auckland. And, we have, we had, when I was there, so only 2 days ago that I've finished. But, there are things that we have to do that for Ngāti whātua, you know, like they want a certain amount of, you know, kulta kōrero
What
sort
is the
of
quota?
things.
What is the real Māori quota on Mai? Is it like 30%?
I don't know what the quota is, and I think to be honest, I'm not involved in it.
Yeah.
I couldn't say. But, you know, there are certain things that we have to do. And then, you know, being on the My Morning Crew with Nixon and Nate, who are Samoan, and then I'm the Māori, and I'm like, but I can't be the Māori. I don't know. Like, technically, yeah, but like, don't ask me any questions because I won't be able to answer them. Yeah. You know?
I was, if I can be really honest with you, I was somewhat skeptical. Like, I saw your last name when this was like 4.5 years ago when you got the job. Yeah. And I was like, I was like, that's a Māori name. I'm seeing this like Pākehā, blue eyes. And then, like, she's following the likes of Wairangi, Kopu, and Kānoa.
I know.
But 4.5 years later, I can actually sit here at the same table and tell you, like, I am so happy how you've represented our people. Like, you've brought a Māori perspective to, like, Nixon and Nate.
Have
I actually reckon, straight up.
Okay.
Like, who are complete clowns. Like, and we love that humour, though, that Polynesian humour. Like, we're just idiots. Yeah. But that's cool.
I think that I had to realise that I wasn't ever going to be Kānoa Lloyd in the sense that I could, you know, just, you know, I didn't have that, what she has. She has her language down packed. She knows her shit, you know. I just owned that I was learning.
Me.
And was like always my thing, like, and I just gave shout outs to Wēnanga Aotearoa when I could because, like, I really, really loved that. Like, that was pivotal for me last year. Like, that was really, like, every week I just feel like after a 3-hour class I like filled my spiritual cup, you know, like, so, you know, I couldn't go out there and pretend, you know, that I was a fluent Māori speaker and I knew this and I knew that. Like, that wasn't ever going to work. So I had to own that I was a learner, and there are going to be lots of learners out there who feel that is cool because, like, they can connect to me in that sense.
Yeah, people really vibe with authenticity, like, and, you know, as a broadcaster, like, the only connection we have, well, the main connection we have is through this. Like, you know, you're trying to form an emotional relationship with someone through a microphone.
You can't fake it. You can't try and be something that you're not. People will see you right through it straight away and they'll call you on your shit, and I learnt that earlier on as well. Yeah, because, you know, I mean, sometimes you might have an opinion that you're like, I'm just not going to share that one because I feel like it's not going to go down well. And that's fine, but you can't be something, you can't turn up every morning and for 4 hours be on the radio pretending to be something you're not. You're never going to be able to pull that one, you know? Like, you just have to be yourself. You can't, like, I could not pretend that I was fluent or anything like that. I had to just be like, I'm learning and I'm really proud to be learning. And if you want to learn, this is where I'm going. And I listen to these podcasts and I would, you know, like, I love shouting out what's helping me on my journey. The goal is to be a Kānoa Lloyd.
True.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. There's so many amazing women in broadcasting, like I said before. Kānoa, Kara Rickard, Kaylee McNabb, and Stacey Morrison. Yeah. Amazing.
There's some strong Māori women. We can put your name on that list too, I think.
No, I don't think so. I'll be on the tier below, but one day I'll be up there.
Yeah. Let's talk going forward. Let's talk a young Māori, strong Māori woman, 4.5 years leading one of radio's biggest breakfast shows, heading overseas. That is big.
I'm actually leaving tonight. Crazy.
Wow.
Well, when this comes out, I'll already be there.
You'll be gone, yeah.
I'll be gone. I know, it's scary. I'm such a homebody as well. I get really homesick. So, like, I love traveling, but I've never been like, I'm gonna up and leave and, like, permanently. Well, 2-year visa. But yeah, it's just what I think is next for me. Like, have loved my time there, but I feel like I've gotten everything that I can out of that job and I've learned what I can. And now it's time to get out of my comfort zone again and do something else. And I don't know what that is. I don't have a flat. I don't have a job. I don't know what I want to do for a job.
All right.
So it's interesting. It's going to be a journey of growth and personal discovery.
Yeah. It's as daunting as it seems, like, you know how we were just saying, like, it must be exciting though.
Oh, totally.
To know that there is something unknown coming.
Yeah, for sure. I'm really excited, and as uncomfortable as it is to put yourself out of your comfort zone, that's where you do your growing, and that sounds cliche, but I mean, when I started at Mai, I was completely out of my depth, and I hated it to the point where I was like, shit, is this right for me? But I stuck with it. I stuck to that uncomfortable like situation, and I grew and I loved it and it worked out. So I know that even though this is scary and this is can make me very nervous, it's the right thing to do, because you kind of know deep down, like, you know, you're time to do something else.
You gonna come home?
Yeah, oh, totally.
Yeah.
I don't know when. I mean, I've got a 2-year visa, so 2 years, but they're not going to get sponsored.
So you'll be moving to Pakanae in 2 years' time?
Maybe.
You and I can set
they
up
got a job for me up there.
Yeah, we'll set up a podcast. We'll set up a Taumata Kōrero in Pakanae.
That's a good idea.
There's actually quite a strong Māori presence in London.
Yeah.
There's heaps.
What is it?
Ngāti
Ranana.
Yeah. So any Ngāti Ranana listening?
Yeah.
Here's your new girl over here, Ngāti Ranana. Like, let's talk through that Māori overseas, like, and holding on, because I mean, overseas people eat it up, like.
Yeah.
If you can sing, my kapahaka tutor told me, son, if you go overseas, if you can sing pōkare kare ana, and if you do kamate, you've at least got a free meal and a bed.
Yeah.
And maybe a bed if you're lucky.
What, by the Māori that are already over there, or by like the British?
By whoever, like the world just eats up Māori culture, like they love it, eh? So I mean,
isn't it funny how, because obviously there are so many expats, especially young people who go over to London after school or after uni and that kind of thing, and they're all celebrating Waitangi Day and they're all wearing, you know, and it's like so cringe to see, because you're like, if you were in New Zealand, you would not be wearing that moko that you've painted on yourself, you know? Do you notice that?
I do, but I didn't want to be the guy.
That's a whole nother chat.
No, let's have that discussion. I'm so glad you brought that up. Like, I
find it disgusting.
It is a little bit.
Well, like, not disgusting, that's not the right word. Because in one way, they're proud to be New Zealand and they're repping it, but they're doing it all wrong. Yeah. And they're not, you know, like, that's taking a little bit of something that isn't, you know, you're not taking it all.
Do our expats overseas, like, take Māori culture as like is it quite token?
Totally. Oh, a haka.
Yeah.
You know? And like, I love a haka, but then you see like someone, I don't know, start one in bloody...
And an Irish pub in Dublin.
Yeah, and you're like, but why? And, you know, I don't know, it's difficult. And people would have very different opinions on that. It's something that I just don't feel like it's right? Because you're like, why are you doing that? You're doing it for attention for you. You're not doing that for... You don't know what the haka means?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's real.
You reckon?
Straight up, anecdotally speaking, I've heard of people had nothing to do with their Māori culture while they were living here at home. About 22, 23, they move overseas, specifically London. They come back like after a 5-year stint in London, and they know the whakapapa of Eeyore right down to everything there.
Oh, really?
Like, they've just like connected with their Māori culture overseas.
From when they're overseas?
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
Oh, but I'm like, how?
Why did it take you going over there to... But that's cool, because something's obviously sparked off in them and they're like, oh my gosh, like I want to learn about this.
Yeah.
My thing is when it's like a group of people who, you know, are just doing a haka because they've seen the All Blacks do a haka and they don't know what they're doing, and you're just like, why are you doing that? Yeah. Yeah.
I want to move our kōrero along a bit. Has this sense of... No, it's pretty sick to call it inadequacy, because you're not inadequate. I'll sit here and I'll say that it's not inadequacy. But like that emotion. How, like, have you cried over it?
I don't think I've cried over it, but I think it's always been like it's just always been there. It's more of like a, who am I sort of thing, and like you're just not quite sure of your identity. And then you're like, I'm so proud to be Māori, like deeply. But then I'm also like, but can I, you know, it's like an internal battle, because I'm like, I know, on one hand, I'm so proud to be Māori. On the other hand, I'm like, are you Māori? Are you allowed to be proud yet? Are you allowed to be proud when you don't know your language and you don't know your history properly? You know, like, am I at the point where I'm allowed to be like, yeah, I'm proud to be Māori? It's like, no, not yet.
True.
Yeah, I think so. And it's like, and that's, yeah. But it's been, in one sense, it's kind of been good, because that's encouraged me to get my language journey going.
Yeah.
And so that sort of sense of, you know, one day I'll have my language down packed, or I'll be confident enough to say, yeah, I'm Māori, and if you want to kōrero mai, I can respond. Yeah. But, it's a really weird internal struggle of just a who am I battle. Because I'm both, you know, like I'm Pākehā and I'm Māori like many people.
Yeah.
But my Pākehā is, you know, like on top of my Māori and it's trying to grow.
That's really like, from my point of view, like, so I've only moved back to, I've lived in Auckland for the last like 15 years since I started secondary school. And I've just moved home in the last year. And people kind of like, they know of you and then they're like, oh, you're actually from here. Come back to the marae. And like, I've like been going through my own insecurities. Like, you know, I consider myself, I've got, you know, somewhat of an average grasp of te reo Māori. But like to actually, anyway, let's not put smoke up.
Okay, average.
But like, you know, going back to it, even from my side of the fence, like going back to your marae, it is a lot of pressure, like, because you're speaking at a place, you're actively engaging in a place where there was a reason our people left these gathering places of Māori, like in the 50s and 60s. There was a huge shift of Māori into the cities, and you and I sitting in central city Auckland, you and I are the product of that. Like, you know, so that's why I say it hurts me when people say like, you're not Māori enough to call yourself Māori. Like, we didn't ask to be brought to the city. That's
just the way it's just been for me. I didn't grow up with a Māori speaking family or anything like that.
Yeah. But like from top to bottom, I think, and it's not even those who think that their Māori, their Pākehā side overlaps their Māori side. Like, I think this is across the board. Like, we as Māori people, I think we struggle a lot with really who we are. Like, we struggle with, is it cool to be Māori?
I think
it's cool.
so.
It is cool. Like,
but you know, it wouldn't have been a few years back. Yeah. And we're lucky to be in a time now where people are embracing it. And like in my classes last year, I mean, most of the people who were learning Māori were Pākehā.
Yeah.
You know, like that wouldn't have happened years ago. So like, we're lucky to be at a time now where it's cool and it's encouraged.
Yeah.
But sadly, a long time ago, it was not okay. At you know, my grandfather's time.
Yeah.
You know, and now we're in this hangover from that, all the damage that was done back then. Now we have to be like, okay, that's what's happened, but I'm going to revitalize this language starting with myself and not let this language die out because of, you know, like, I feel like I have to do my part, and like being Māori, that's a responsibility that I feel. Yeah. And like, I can't really do much. I can't, you know, but I can take control of the reo and I can learn it. Like, it's going to take me a long time because I'm a slow learner. But I can do it and I'm going to do it.
Why do you feel a responsibility? Like, what is it?
Well, I just feel like, you know, I'm very proud to be Māori. And I'm like, if you are proud to be Māori, then you got to do what you can to keep, you know, the reo alive. Yeah. So I just feel like that is part of, if I want to call myself Māori, I have to champion Māori and everything that involves. And I can't, like, you know, be at my marae every weekend, or I can't, you know, do that kind of stuff. But I can learn the language. Like, I have the resources. We're really lucky to have so many resources now to learn. And that's, you know, that's my goal. And I feel like once I've got that down packed, I can then like further. And you know, you can't just learn the language, just the language. You end up learning so much more. You learn your history, you learn the tikanga, you learn what it is to be Māori. So it's not just a language journey, it's everything else that comes with that. So
let's start wrapping it up. I 4.5 years at Mai, nearly 5 years. Where's Lily Tato going to be in another 5 years' time?
I've got no idea. That's a really hard question. I'll probably be back in New Zealand by then. Yeah, for sure. So what, I'll be like 31. Maybe popping out a few babies. Yeah, well that's interesting. I don't know.
Having kids like on this journey that you're on.
Yeah, my boyfriend he's not Māori at all. Yeah. And I'm like, you should probably learn, because once kids come along, like, man, they're going to be talking shit about you and Māori, you're not going to know what they're saying.
True.
I don't know, 5 years time, like, I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I think I'll be back in New Zealand. I'll still be on my Māori journey, that's for sure. Yeah. Hopefully I can speak a bit more than I can now. Are you excited for the next 5 years in this Māori journey? Because like, for sure.
you know, like I was saying to you earlier, like, we're all students of the language. Like, whether or not you think you are the bee's knees, you are the best thing since sliced bread to ever hit te reo Māori, you are always learning.
Yeah, and that's what I've heard from a lot of people. Like, the more you know you don't know. Yeah. So, I mean, I just want to get to I want to be able to just have a conversation with you in Māori. Like, that's what I would love. At this point, I could probably do it if you wrote it down on paper and then I wrote the answers back. But I can't, like, verbalize it yet.
That really touches my heart when you say something to me like that. Like, you know, a Māori girl wanting to have a conversation in Māori.
Yeah.
Like that's real, eh?
And I think, you know, there's going to be so many people who are exactly the same position as me.
Yeah.
Most people in New Zealand who are, well, I don't know, I'm making the statistic up, but I'm going to say there is a big, like, share of, you know, Māori people who don't grow up speaking the language. And being Māori, I think many people have something in them that are just like, I'm lucky to be Māori, and I want to, you know, do what I can to, you know, to represent Māori. I want to be able to speak the language. I want to be connected to who I am.
Yeah.
And I feel like there are a lot of people like me who are going to start with the real journey, and then with that hopefully comes everything else, and then one day I'll be like, yeah, I'm Māori, and then I'll have a conversation with you in Māori. Maybe in 5 years' time, if this podcast is still going, bring me back and see if I've managed to achieve my goal.
We'll do 40 minutes full Māori.
40 minutes. Okay.
I actually think I'd struggle doing 40 minutes full-time Māori. Anyway, that's another podcast for 5 years' time. E Hoama, we've run out of time. He pērara o te pārekareko ngā kōrero. Our conversation was flowing. That beautiful 40 minutes just like that.
Yeah, I know. Crazy.
We're going to cut to the song of the week, Waiata o te wiki. Koe rā tēnei ko tō tātou waiata I tēnei wiki. Ki mau tonu mai.
Ki te reo Māori e karanga nei e kupu tuku I o mo tēnei te mauri o te mana Māori e reo rongo mai whiti no tua whakarere nā ngā atua I oha ki ngā tipuna e ke iho kia tātou ki ngā uri ki te iwi ko te reo kia tika ko te reo kia rere ko te reo kia Māori te rangatira ai Aotearoa kōrero tia tōreo Aotearoa whaiata tia tōreo Aotearoa whakamana tia tōreo e taonga tuku iho aroha tia ngā kupu o nā mata kia mau kia ita ngā kupu taunaha o ngā wahi o te motu nei kau e whakarerea kau e tukua kia ngaro pena tia kia ora tonu ai moa ko te reo kia tika ko te reo kia rere te reo kia Māori e rangatira ai Aotearoa kōrero tia tōreo Aotearoa whaiata tia tōreo Aotearoa whakamana tia tōreo e taonga reo He taonga tuku iho Arohatia tō reo He taonga tuku iho Arohatia tō reo Arohatia tō
Koe rā tō tātou waiata o te wiki. I tēnei wā, kanui te mihi o te ngākau, my friend Lily, thank you very much. My heart goes out to you. Thank you very much for opening up and sharing some real life, real talk.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me. It's been really nice to just verbalize all that's in me, that I've been thinking, and, you know, like, that was actually really, like, therapeutic for me having this chat. Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to seeing who else you've got on the podcast and having a listen.
And I'm sure you've come across this in your studies. They do say, ko te kai a te rangatira he kōrero, the food of chiefs is conversation. So our conversation very much chiefly noble today. E hoa mai, that's the Taumata Kōrero for another week, another podcast done and dusted with another beautiful guest on our show. Keep it locked, ka haere tonu ngā wānanga I konei. We'll see you online, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, te mea, wherever it is, you know what it is. Ko te pō e ka tau tēnei te Taumata Kōrero. Ka huri!